What does it mean to have Zach back?
Yeah, obviously he's one of the best, to play the game. He's got a certain leadership style about him that everybody appreciates. And on a personal note, when anybody, not just Zach, but when anybody's hurt and they can't do this thing they really enjoy, it's there's a bit of grumpiness around the place.
Getting Jarrell Broxton back into practice today.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys sort of available to run around a little bit more, and for all of them, it's the same thing. It's just good to see them out there. They just, there's a certainly comfort level when they get out there that they have, and there's certainly more joy in their lives.
Yeah. Losing Michael Griffin, what does that do to your defense?
Yeah, it's whole. He gets asked to do a lot of different things, and of course his body type. He's one of those guys that's very versatile in terms of, you know, his size and his speed and quickness. So he's a different type of athlete. So they're tough to replace, obviously.
And then we were just talking to Matt Jaworski about what he's been through the last few months to be able to see him be able to come back and be at this level. What is that? I don't know if you have any feelings about that.
Well, when he was here before, we obviously really liked his work ethic and his, the habits he has, and certainly those foundational habits are what allows a guy to come back and get to this level again. So, and then, as I just said, when this gets taken away from you, when football gets taken away from you, just when they step back on the field, I think there's just a ton of gratitude and joy, and things seem right again.
What does it say about him, Mike? I mean, obviously some things are bigger than football, but for him just to be able to be standing on this field today, that's a massive accomplishment considering what he went through.
Yeah, I haven't really got into the full details of that with him. But certainly, yeah, he's certainly been through a whole hell of a lot, obviously, in the last little while.
Your first reaction to the BC game after watching the tape for the first time?
Yeah. A lot of mistakes. It's not good enough. So I think the energy the guys had today and the commitment to communication and the commitment they showed in the film room to make sure they're right is, you sit on that all week, and then the guys show up ready to put in a ton of work, come in with the right mindset, and the day ends and you're just filled with positivity. Like this is going to be fantastic for us.
I know you don't care what a team's record is, and I know it doesn't matter if a guy's making his first start or his 1,000,000th start. I mean, they're a pro at the end of the day. But for fans that look at that game, everything that happened, and would say like that was an inexcusable loss. Like, what would you say to?
I agree with them. Yeah, I'd agree with them. That is a good way to describe it. And then you realize that everybody out there in the field is human, and there's mistakes that happen, and in every game, win or lose, right? But the way it looked and the way it felt and the outcome, yeah, I'd say inexcusable. I believe the players would agree. Also, right back to when the meetings ended, the amount of positivity, the understanding of how good it can be was all right there in front of us. So it's good.
How do you balance that coming off a bye? On the one hand, you don't want to, as you said, it's an inexcusable loss. You don't want to let that slide, but also you mentioned the positivity coming back from break. So how do you, I guess, balance wanting to address the problems and fix them versus wanting to get kind of a fresh start coming back from bye?
I don't think that's a hard thing to balance. I think everybody understands the process we have to go through. I mean, it doesn't change just because there was 7 or 8 or 9 days between. We stepped right back into it. I think the guys had a few laughs about the break and what they did, and then it's right back to business. Like I said, the mindset was it's important to come back the way they did and be refreshed and come back with a good mindset, a good desire to be better, and that was evident throughout the building.
What do you expect from a winless Ottawa club?
Their best. Again, every team. You have to expect their best. And if you expect anything less, that's a recipe for disaster.
How, in your opinion, does this team, what do you need to do to get back to being dominant at home?
We're not looking at home or away. We're looking at how do we play our best football, right? Wherever it is. This parking lot, it's a foreign country, doesn't matter. We got to play our best.